Well, it's kind of become a regular occurrence for me to wait to shoot when most people have their boats put away in the fall because it's so cold out. And we're up on the Chippewa Flowage near Hayward, Wisconsin. Got my buddy Ty Sennet, my buddy Jim Scheifelbein with me. And, you know, it's been pretty brutal the last few days for wind and cold. But we're gonna go out there and try to catch some walleyes, and the bite's been pretty good, hasn't it, Ty?
Yeah, it was really good the last few weeks. It definitely slowed down this week, but we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah,
I mean, have to break some ice, right?
You're gonna have to break some ice. And Jim, you and I a couple falls ago on the Illinois River, we waited till real late November, shot a show, so we're used to this weather. We're tough.
We're used to it. No gloves for me.
We're going after walleyes on the big chip. Follow us, and we're gonna show you the next bite.
The Chippewa Flowage in northern Wisconsin is a very popular summertime destination for both relaxing and fishing. Late in the open water season, the lake goes from buzzing with people to nearly empty, even though it's one of the best times of the year to catch a ton of chunky walleyes.
Walleye!
Hey!
Hey!
Woo! Break the ice.
He ate it. Right where you want him hooked there, boys.
Did he hit it pretty hard?
No, he just kind of picked it up, actually. I was surprised that he had it that far down his throat.
Yeah.
It's cold out.
The cold temperatures concentrate the fish in a few specific locations because the walleyes have one thing on their mind, and that's feeding.
So we're out here November 17th, so it's middle of November. We're probably a week away from ice up. Water temps are 38 to 42 degrees. So they're kind of going towards their winter stomping grounds, if you will. So we're going to be targeting a couple different areas, either deeper basins or some shallow weed lines or weedy bays. So what you want to do is fish either the river channels where they're getting to those locations or those locations, period. So when you're targeting those deeper locations, that's going to be your 20 to 25 foot, maybe even 28 foot depth in the basin areas. On the weed lines, you're going to be targeting anywhere from like 3 to 5 foot on the stain side of the lake, or 6 to 8 feet on the clear bodies of water. So make sure you're getting on those weed lines and getting on the inside turns, or you just target milfoil in general, because milfoil will last the longest as far as the growing season. A lot of the other weeds have already died off or are browned up and not fresh. So target the milfoil areas and you'll get some fish. Yep.
Got it.
Oh yeah, it's a good
that one looks good too.
Yep.
That one looks good.
Definitely a good one. Yeah, it's a decent one. Yeah, it is a good one.
Yeah?
Yep.
Got that rod bent over.
It definitely does.
Nice fish. There you go.
Ooh, that might be a $20 fish. See where she's hooked here. Oh, right in the snoot.
Right in the beak.
We like that.
Right where you want to be.
Like getting your gloves all slimed up. Nice fish.
That's a good fish. You're kind of casting, you're just working right along this weed edge.
Yeah, the wind is blowing in real hard on that weed edge.
Yeah.
They're kind of piled up right on that very edge. You guys are hitting the hook of it out here on the outside edge, and I'm hitting the inside edge. Nice fish.
Worked out perfect.
It did. It did.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Schaefer's Specialized Lubricants. Putting equipment first. Tracker Boats. Fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Berkeley. Catch more fish. And Power Pole Total Boat Control. Closed captioning for the next bite is provided by Precision Trolling Data, the authority for crankbait diving depth information. This late in the year, the fish could be in two very different locations. On this cold day, they were grouped up in the last remaining green weeds.
Trying to keep him down. He came up pretty quick. Another good eater.
All right, off in the net. It's a good spot for him to get off.
Oh, we're gonna have to bump him. He's 18 and a half.
Look how fat that thing is, Jim. Yeah, I kind of just looked back and all of a sudden, little Jim had the rod bent over like that. I like that.
It was a casual hook.
That's a nice fish, though.
The green weeds provide oxygen and food for young-of-the-year panfish, and the walleyes are in there with them, eating the plentiful bait.
So this is really a pretty typical situation for fall jigging for walleyes. You know, we're fishing around these weed lines and typically pretty shallow waters where we're catching most of these fish. But the equipment we're using is something that I pretty much use all year long if I'm gonna pitch light jigs near weeds. It's gonna be, you know, a longer rod, it's medium light action, fast tip. So a lot of backbone, fast tip. The details are really pretty simple. We're using a super line, you know, 10-pound Berkeley Ultra 8 carrier, so you get a lot of feel. There's obviously some weeds. You want to be able to tell the difference between when a fish picks that jig up, because they're not necessarily smoking it, but you want to be able to feel that with that super line. And then it's tied directly to just a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. Jig size, really pretty standard, 1/8 ounce, 3/16 ounce in the shallower water on the weed edges. So if you're gonna be coming up to the chip, you know, late fall time frame and targeting these weeds, your typical jigging setups, longer rod, medium light, fast action, get good hook sets, make sure you get all these fish to the boat. It's gonna help you out on the chip in the fall to put as many fish in the boat as possible. We're gonna need the net here.
Okay, I'm gonna bring him right to you.
Yep.
Right into the basket. All right.
Nice fish. Nice fish. There we go. That's a little bit nicer right there, Jim.
I don't think
job.
he's 20 though, is he?
Well, I saw your rod when that one hit. It was just like, whoop.
No doubt about that one.
Probably gonna need a pliers here on this one. You aren't gonna lose them, that's for sure. He has that jig down. Hooked right at the roof of the mouth too. Hey, it's like you've done this before, Jim. That's exactly how you want it.
Oh, lucky
Look at
hook
that.
set.
That's a nice fish though.
He is pretty.
Nice healthy fish. But yeah, like you can tell, we're just using these minnows and barely moving it. And I was, for some reason, I looked over at your rod and all of a sudden I just saw it go clunk. So that's fun. All right, there we go.
Total Control, presented by Power Pole. 20 years of trust evolved from Total Boat Control.
So one of the best ways to catch fish pretty much year-round, spring to fall, is to use crankbaits. But one of the finishing touches that can really make your day a great day as compared to a good day is to figure out the right color for that fish to be biting. So what I brought out here was one of my boxes. This is my 7 flicker shad box, something I bring in the boat. It's got a whole variety of colors because I like to throw a lot of colors at them all at once and then let them kind of start picking out which colors they like. Now, I can't obviously run every color that's in here, so what you got to do is look at your situation a little bit. If you've got a lake that's fairly clear, meaning that the fish can use their eyes to see the bait, and it's kind of low on bait, there's not a lot of food around, then a lot of times what I'll lean towards first is more of the natural colors. You know, things that look like an actual bait fish down there, you know, the perches, the silvers, much more muted colors, I'll call them. A secondary situation is if you got dirty water, or if you've got a situation where there's a lot of bait around. They've got plenty of perch to eat or plenty of smelt to eat. Then a lot of times what I'll go to is what I call the gaudy colors. You know, the really bright colors like this, the fire tigers, the pinks, the purples, things that don't look like anything down there, but they're actually very visible in dirty water, and it gives them something different to eat than all this bait fish that they have swimming around. And just be careful when you say fire tiger, you know, fire tiger can mean the regular fire tiger, a brighter fire tiger, a slick fire tiger. It could be just a little bit of a red hot tail on there. Could make all the difference in the world. So just start playing around with that. Now, if I'm gonna look at baits that I'm gonna just use just about everywhere, in almost every situation, it would be these lures over here. And a lot of these are what I call the white lures. You know, they got a lot of white in their sides. This one here is called pearl white. We actually call it mouse a lot of times, a little bit of gray on top. Chartreuse, pearl, racy here is a gray color. It's got a little bit of blue in there. Blue is a great color. So those are some real good general colors. And you'll notice I threw in this one right here. This is called slick black pearl. Doesn't look like much to a fisherman, but I tell you what, with those two little orange dots on the bottom, this dark slick side, this is one of our go-to lures everywhere we go. So if you take those 4 lures, maybe add in a fire tiger over there, you've got a real good starting set just about anywhere you fish. So when you're starting to figure out the color of crankbait that you should be using for a day, play around with a lot of colors, maybe go with those rules of thumbs for your first choices, but then let the experts pick the color that they want, and the experts are the walleyes.
When the water cools, walleyes seem to do one of two things. Either they will barely eat because of their metabolism slowing down, or they will gorge on everything in sight because they know they have to eat to get through the winter months.
You got a good one?
It's a heavy fish, whatever it is.
Attaboy, Jim.
That was such a light bite.
Angle that thing in, Jim.
Chase, Ty, and Jim have found that the fish are barely eating and have adjusted their equipment and cadence accordingly.
There's such a soft bite today. Nice fish though. Pretty. So what we're doing here is we're taking a sucker minnow and we're rigging it in the hard part of the head, so that right in the solid part of the head. We're not going to rig it in the lip. We're going to go through the mouth and out through the hard part of the head. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of loft your cast out there. You're not going to whip cast as much. So it's just going to be kind of a soft cast out so that sucker stays on. And what we're doing, because the bite has really slowed down, is we're going to do slow drags with the sucker minnow. You'll just barely feel them grab onto it, and we're missing a lot of fish that are that slow that we're actually losing a lot of fish because they're tail grabbing and just they're not actually eating the bait very well. So we're just going to do slow drags, and then sometimes you just let it sit there for a second and then start the process over again. It's a slow, methodical process, but it's working. And even some of your big fish aren't really thumping it, they're just latching on more than anything.
Yep. Oh yeah, good walleye. Oh yeah, Ty.
Oh yeah,
There we go.
nice.
All right.
Nice, that's a good fish. Real good.
Oh,
Way to go, buddy.
that's a nice one. That's what we're looking for. Look at that too. It was crazy though. I mean, it was just weird. It was just, you know, he picked it up and he just started swimming with it. He didn't hit it
not
aggressively,
aggressive,
nothing,
yeah.
but that's a good one right there.
Yeah, we'll take that.
I mean, and there's got to be a little pack of them because you just had that one stuck, and I casted pretty close to the same spot, got it about halfway back. So, but that right there, that's what we're looking for, buddy.
Attaboy.
There you go, buddy. Thank you. He's ready. All right. So forward-facing sonar technology has just become such an important tool for anglers in a variety of different species. You know, as walleye anglers, we're watching how these fish are reacting to some of the baits we're throwing at them. But this is an instance where I'm not necessarily using this technology to see fish. These fish are, you know, very lazy right now. They're laying tight to the bottom. They're not moving around a lot. So we see some fish with the active target, but more so what we're using active target for is to make sure we're staying outside the thick weed edges. And you can actually see plain as day, and the boat's swinging a little bit, so it's gonna move, but there's weeds 10 to 20 feet out in front of the boat. And you can see those plain as day. So the key is going to be, and what it's been, is staying on those corners and just outside those edges to where you're pitching your jigs and your sucker minnows just into the edge of the weeds and working them out. So not only is Active Target really cool for finding fish in certain situations, but it allows us to really know what's in front of the boat, seeing weeds in front of you, and being able to stay in the areas that you need to be to fish successfully and catch more fish throughout the day.
Got him. That's
Good
a good
one?
one. Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully it's the right kind. There are a lot of pike here. Oh, the old tennis elbows kicking in.
What do you got
That's
there?
a big walleye. Give us the old head shake.
Yep.
That's
we
shook
go.
like a bass.
All right.
That one hit way out.
Yeah.
We might have to make a couple more casts here.
Yeah, I would say it's worth it. Hooked perfectly.
Oh, thanks, Chase.
Nice fish.
Yes,
I mean, the average size fish are just, they're awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we fish a lot of different bodies of water, Erie, stuff like that, where there's giants, and not necessarily going for that here, but just the average walleye.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a meal, that's a perfect fish right there.
I mean, nice ones. And you
We
know
obviously
what?
aren't eating today, but
No, we're not.
Cheeseburgers.
We're just trying to stay warm. There you go, bud.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Schaefer's Specialized Lubricants, putting equipment first. Tracker Boats, fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, your adventure starts here. Berkeley, catch more fish. Lowrance, find, navigate, dominate. And Power Pole Total Boat Control. Hot topics, leading information and tackling techniques to make you a better angler. Presented by Mercury.
There's some exciting new stuff happening with my favorite paddle tail of all time, the Berkeley Champ Swimmer. The original size of the Champ Swimmer was 4.6 inches long. It's a pretty big paddle tail, and it generally appeals to bigger walleyes. I catch a lot of walleyes from the 23, up to the 30-inch range. One of the reasons why this bait has been so successful for myself and others is the HD print on the side of the bait. So the Champ Swimmer's come out with 5 new colors, and it's also come out with a couple smaller sizes. So we as walleye anglers like to eat fish also, and a lot of the times when selecting for bigger fish with that bigger paddle tail, you're not going to catch a lot of those 16 to 20-inch fish. So we asked for a smaller size, and Berkeley hooked it up. The new sizes are a 3.8-inch, and then also this cute little guy, the 3-incher. So not only is this bait smaller, it appeals to smaller fish, it can also be a lot more effective earlier on in the season when bait fish are a little smaller. Generally a perch will grow up to probably 4 inches long by the end of the year, but in the early season, they're definitely a lot smaller, and this will fit the bill. Not only did they come up with new sizes, they also came up with new colors, and I'm really excited about them because they really kind of aim towards walleye fishing. And they came out with baits like this, the HD Fire Perch. As you can see, it's almost a spin-off of a Fire Tiger. Still got a nice little HD perch design on the side. I really see myself using this in bright sun, especially in the weeds. Another color, which is a high contrast bait. This is Fool's Gold, a classic color combo to use in a dirtier water situation like a river. Another great bait just to get seen. This one's probably my favorite color. It's the HD Red Belly Goby. I actually got to help and design this color, and I know that red is a really good trigger, especially on the Great Lakes. So we got the perfect modeling of a goby on the side, and then that nice little red throat patch, a great target for a walleye. So next time you're in the bait store and you're looking through paddle tails, check out the new sizes and the new colors from Berkeley, the Power Bait Champ Swimmer.
The best part about fishing the green weeds late in the fall is the bait fish not only attract walleyes, but every predator in the system will be waiting nearby looking for a meal.
The multi-species.
Pretty cool. Yeah, not necessarily what you're looking for, but that's cool.
As long as you can handle the cold weather, you can catch nearly every species of fish, and potentially a personal best.
Fish on.
You want to get the net for him, J-Bone?
Feels good anyway. Big head shakes. Grab that net.
Looks good.
Big head shakes. Staying down. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh yeah.
That's a beast. Oh yeah,
Oh,
fishing
Jim.
and
Yeah, get that thing.
him, get him.
Yeah.
Got him. Nice. Whoa, that is a
That is a
tank.
good one.
Nice fish.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, that is a beast.
Look at that thing.
Awesome fish. Look at that
Should be able to
belly.
get it. Yep, there we
That's a
go.
fat fish.
That's a beast right there.
Absolute tank.
It's a great way to end the day.
It is a great way to end the day.
That's
Beautiful
what you
fish.
come to the chip for. I mean, that one is a good one. Oh, it's been fun. Boy,
It
they're
has
not
been.
hitting it hard, but we've caught some nice fish. This one
Takes the cake.
takes the cake.
It does.
Let's get them back, huh?
All right.
Take one. Okay.
He is not really big.
That makes sense now.
Yeah. I think we can go to the next spot.
Probably a half pound heavier than he was 10 minutes ago with all you fed him.
Yep. True. It's not hook bad, but my thumbs do not want to unhook it.
Yeah.
Good fish.
Good. Decent one there. There you go, Jim.
Thanks, Shay.
Go ahead.
You want
Release
to
it.
take him off for me?
No, go ahead and release it.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep, I'm gonna go back to fishing.
That's a good little fish.
It is.
Yeah.
We're just working that. I mean, it's tough with the way this direction the wind is blowing here because you're kind of working it at an angle and
Yeah, we just got the trolling motor on lockdown, and yeah, it's brutal out here today.
it's cold.
All right, let's get this
that
fish
thing
back.
The Next Bite would like to thank Treeland Resort on Chippewa Flowage, located near Hayward, Wisconsin. Fall in love with wide open spaces, 17,000 acres of water, 140 plus islands, and 200 miles of shoreline virtually undeveloped. For more information, please visit treelandresorts.com or call 715-462-3874. That's 715-462-3874.